very small gap from the bottom of the tenon to the bottom of these teeth. And the reason I did that is because in a few minutes after I turn one segment, I'm going to tilt it. And when I tilt it, I want to make sure that I have enough wood there to get a couple of those teeth on the wood so I get a secure hold. Just be careful, make sure that it's on there solid. No cracks in the wood, very careful. This is this piece right here. Can you zoom in on this again, Jamie? As you can, oh, you're on the wrong camera. As you can see, this piece right here, these little areas up here, this is end grain, so there's not a whole lot of strength here. If this wood had any bit of crack in it whatsoever, it's going to go flying off. So you got to make sure that your wood is solid. This piece here is a piece of kiln-dried cherry. I've not had any problems with it at all. I've had several of these I've done, so it's held together really good. But if you get some green wood or whatever, just make sure that you cut it clean. Make sure there's no hairline cracks, because what you can't see can get you. These areas like this disc right here, the weakest point is going to be actually the distance from the top of this to the bottom of this. The wood will just pop right off there. If you get it going too fast, this whole thing is going to just fly out. And you'll see what I mean when I get there. But I like to make everything thick enough, if I can, that that's not going to happen. So,
what's your normal turning speed?
You know, I don't really turn by number, but I'm guessing with something like this, the faster you go, the easier it is to make a clean cut, because you're cutting air and then wood, air and then wood, air and then wood. When you get it going fast enough, it's like cutting a lighter wood. If you've got a heavy, dense wood, you're just cutting less frequently, and it makes an easier cut. So as fast as you can go without too much vibration, and a lot of that just depends on your lathe. Weight down your lathe as much as you can. If I'm doing like a mini lathe, I'll put a sandbag underneath it, and even then the thing shakes. You're going to get a little vibration no matter what you do. Try to get as much weight on the lathe. It's really critical. It's no different than roughing out a bowl. And you've all probably been there when the thing is sitting there shaking and you're trying to get the thing around. Well, you're going to get that with this too. These candle tops here, I bought these. This is actually too big. And I'm just warning that when you look on the internet for these things, it's kind of hard to figure out what size a candle is. I'm betting all the women know that a taper is about 3/4 of an inch, but I mean, most of us guys have no clue about things like that. Did you know that? Yeah, see?
Ministers would know.
I should have asked my wife, what size is a taper? So this is about an inch. So to fix the problem, I stuck in a 3/4 pipe cap in there. And the reason these are bigger is these are actually made for electrical. And it's hard on the internet. They don't really tell you what they're used for. They're just caps. But I did find some links that's at the back of the pages for some that have screws already embedded in them. But just a little trick there if you want to try to use it.
So you're saying that we could possibly use 3/4 inch pipe fittings if we needed to?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm saying I use that because the candle would just flop over sideways if I didn't have something in there to hold the candle upright. It works. So, you know, well, I guess it was me being angry that I bought about 30 or maybe 50 of these things. Because you had to buy a lot, right? And then you get them all, and after you paid, I forgot what I paid for them, maybe 50 cents a piece. They were pretty cheap. But then after getting them and realizing I couldn't use them for a candle, then I had to sink another $1 a piece into them for the little pipe fit to get in there. But I was so angry that I wasn't going to be able to use them, but I found a way to use them. So now it's like, oh, all right.
Did you tell your wife that it fit?
No. I'm sure she heard my anger when I was hey, doggone, you know, that was a explicative moment. I think that's about it. All right, that's all for the talk. Let's get some action here. All right. I'm going to mark the number 1 jaws because you're going to come back to the number 1 jaws. Oh, beautiful. Straight up and down. So the camera is right. Oh, good. The camera's right there, right? So put my little arrows there so I know that's where the number 1 jaw is. We're going to turn all this, and at the very end, we're going to come back to that same spot. These what do I call them? I'm skipping this. The teeth in there are going to make grooves, which I tighten down really tightly. And then when I come back to those same grooves, they should fall right back in place and we'll get really close to center. All right. So the first step here, I'm going to reference to this guy right here. I know you can't pop back and forth, but I'm going to make this round disc on the top. So when you're doing multi-axis like this, typically you need to start from one end, the tailstock, and work your way back to the headstock. If you're going to make these delicate pieces, it's going to be hard for it to hold together if you don't work from the tailstock back. So you have the support of all the wood here when you're doing the work up here. So if I started in the middle, then the ones out here, you'd get a lot of vibration, and you'd not be able to make a clean cut.
And which part of it's going to be
This is going to be mounted
like that?
like that.
Great.
All right, so clean the space off. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to, let's see, where's your camera? Right? Oh, there, this one. Okay. You're used to that, aren't you? I made this little disc. I'm going to save the time of actually making this. This is just like a cutoff from another project. And this disc has a very flat wall here.